Ooh, I like that one. Yeah. You are listening to the Lost Minds. You say it, that sounds better. You are listening to the Lost Minds podcast.
Let's get this session started with a deep breathing exercise. And by deep breathing exercise, I mean, see on the inside.
Hello. What are you doing? Just making a podcast. Bet your ass cool.
All right. Welcome to the Lost Minds podcast.
We are so intense.
By listening to this podcast, you automatically have subscribed with your credit card. Like, there's nothing you can do.
Absolutely nothing. We've already scanned it, processed it, and billed you
$5.95 for every episode you've listened in the past and currently this one. Thank you.
Let them know we're from the future yet, dude.
We are. Oh,
because that'll be in the future. You'll right when you just come in, everything just right when you're inside the Oasis, and everything just pops right in.
inside the Oasis.
You don't need. You already have Apple Pay right in your retina. It's like.
Yep.
Dude, for some weird reason, I ain't hearing you.
How about now?
No, I'm still not hearing you.
No. How about
It's
now?
all right. You don't need to hear.
You can't have. You don't have to.
Fuck
See,
it.
look at it.
Anyways, let's start this podcast off with a question.
Oh yeah, we
Right.
got to start. Welcome to the Lost Minds podcast.
We already did that.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Everybody's paying.
Quit. Yeah, everyone's paying. We introduced ourselves. Let's go down the checklist. We're good for a professional podcast. We haven't messed up at all so far.
Nope.
Here's my question. Would you rather be blind for the rest of your life from this day forth or deaf from this day forth?
Deaf.
Why?
So I won't have to listen to this podcast.
Oh! Boom! Zing!
Zing.
That's easily accomplished. Just follow me. I'll plug out your eardrums real
Share
quick.
or any podcast, you won't be able to hear the little sound when you push the button on the street to walk across the street and you'll probably get hit by a car.
You won't hear a child's laughter.
You'll never be creeped out again. You'll be sitting in a hallway. You'll never hear those footsteps. You'll be like, oh, your gaming will go down, don't you think?
No.
Because you won't be able to hear the footsteps coming around the corner.
You could set up a program that lights up the
Transcribes
side
it.
of your screen, like if you're hearing footsteps or something on that side.
Dude, that'd be funny. It just
It'd be
transcribes
cheap,
it right
but
in the
you're
top
deaf.
corner. It's like footstep. You're like, oh, there's footsteps coming.
Well, there's that one guy who's paralyzed from the neck down, and he's like a professional gamer.
Oh, I've seen that.
How does he do it?
He plays with his mouth and blowing air on different little
What?
straws.
Yeah. His brother set up some isn't that the guy who his brother set up some
His brother
crazy-
found it. It's a company that makes these devices
okay.
Basically it's got
thought
a
he
joystick in
designed
front of you that you can move with like your lip movement up and down, left, right, kind of like a joystick on a controller.
Jesus.
And then it's got straws on the left side and straws on the right
He's
side.
a professional.
He's a Twitch streamer.
Damn.
You can watch him game, and he's won a couple. He plays PUBG, and he's actually won a couple games. And he uses his lips to move that around, and then blows on the different straws to get your character to do different things. So, like, let's say you got to reload, you blow on a straw, and your character reloads. If you want your character to heal himself, you blow on another straw, and he heals himself.
That's crazy.
Yeah, the
Dude, and
setup
he
looks
does it
nuts.
fast.
I've seen the setup.
too.
I was like, this is great. I thought his brother designed it too, which
His brother puts him in position because he can't move. He's in a wheelchair, so his brother scoots
which is
him
still
up
crazy
into it.
because
And
the
then,
whole
shout out to his
setup's
brother.
fucking nuts.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. I was like, that's so crazy that he
respect.
actually set it up.
What's even crazier is that guy, he went from being a fully functional person to being paralyzed from the neck down, and then goes still to enjoy having fun, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Which is crazy. Like nowadays, you think about it, the technology we have. Imagine if it was 300 years ago. He'd be stuck there doing absolutely nothing,
No, they
staring
would
out
have
a
killed
window.
him.
Yeah, they probably would have killed him. It would have been like 300. Lift your shield. It's like, you know, they just fucking
He
they
wouldn't
toss
be
them
able
little
to.
buggers off the cliff right after the
Yeah.
beginning, dude. Which is unfortunate because
Well, that's just
honestly,
in a movie. Like, do we really know they threw people off cliffs? because they
Absolutely.
couldn't
I bet they
shoot?
did.
Fuck
dude.
yeah, they did, dude. I'm
Shit,
sure they did.
back in like the Civil War, if you got like a scratch during the Civil War, like you died.
What they were
get
doing is as soon as the
infected and
baby is
shit.
born, they look at it, and if it's like, oh, look, this one has a cleft lip, bye. Oh, look,
Toss it.
this one has two left hands, bye.
They did do that in Sparta.
Well,
actually.
that makes sense, tossing like newborn infants. But I'm talking about like a full-grown person who's just a wimp or weak, couldn't
No,
build the muscle. They don't
she'd-
take him to the top of a mountain and be like,
She'd be
lift
a-
your shield
a
and
gatherer.
spear, boy. And he's like, I can't. Look out off Mount Himalaya and tell me what you see. And he looks and he just kicks him in the butt.
I bet depending on
I'm
high
still
up
alive down here.
your nobility, dude. If you're like a peasant, you probably they just be like, you just lay there. Come on now, move yourself. You're like taking a shit all over yourself. Come on. Oh, he's lost motor capabilities. Drag him out into the road. And no one's like, eat, you stupid. And so like maybe
Just let you become part of the road.
Yeah, if you're like a king or something,
Mortar, yeah.
then you'd have a peasant do that for you. Peasant, and then that would be the guy that'd be bitching at you for not you can't wipe your own ass. He'd be in there being the peasant, fucking wipe that man's ass. All right, fucking
Hopefully you have a good family, huh?
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
If you don't, you're fucked.
Because I guess going back to that question though, for me, dude, with the
Blind or deaf?
yeah, I would give up the deafness, or I guess I'd give up hearing, but very reluctantly, just because like of that, like music and all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
but think about if you give up your eyes. How much more disabled you'd be? Like, yeah, you can hear. What are you going to become, Daredevil or something?
You never know.
Maybe.
Yeah.
No.
See those people clicking? Have you seen those guys? And they fucking like smacking shit.
Don't you normally
Using
click
sonar?
as it is?
I know. Walking
Okay.
out, like,
What's wrong with that guy? He thinks he's half grasshopper.
yeah, he thinks he's a freaking velociraptor. It's like fucking peeking through the bushes and
I've
shit.
known a guy like that before.
American velociraptor.
No, remember that guy that lived on the street?
Yeah, wasn't he called the American Raptor or something? Or what did he call himself?
I don't know.
Yeah, he's like, I'm the American Raptor or something like that when we were kids.
It was weird, but he had like raptor claws.
Yeah,
and
he
shit,
called
and
himself a
like, walked
raptor. He
around
like
the
walked
block.
around like a raptor. Called himself American Raptor or some shit.
I was like, dude, you can't do shit to me. I'm a T-Rex. And he's like, that's not fair. I'm like, get out of here.
Bah.
Bye.
you have even a long neck, dude. There's some of those dinosaurs.
A Bronto?
No, but if you're deaf, you can still see. You can,
Yeah, it's true. Like if
you
you've
still appreciate the parts of a woman.
seen once
But
before.
Here's one thing: if you are blind, she doesn't have to be beautiful in the face.
it's gonna be
She
beautiful.
would just have all the right
personality.
curves.
In all the right places.
So
gotta
it's
feel
hit
good.
and miss.
You're just like, dude, what if it's a freaking... Oh, man, I don't want to get into this controversy, but like, what if you're blind and you're hanging out with a woman that you think is a woman?
And then wham, she pops a boner bigger than yours.
Yep.
Well, that'd be a problem, dude. Just like it would be.
And
in
then
any
you can't run
situation.
away because she's locked the
don't-
doors and
but
you're
if you
stuck
don't
in the room.
see it, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be like, why'd you lie to me? You could have just said I'm a chick with a dick and been like normal, That,
No,
that's
dude.
the part that's the weird part is when they like pop it on you. Surprise! It's like you could have said it up front because even though I might be like, no, thank you. You can go to the next person and be like, you want to go to Buffalo Wild Wings? You want to go to like.
I thought...
People might not care. It's like someone that has a tail or something, Like on
tail would be
Shallow Hal.
cooler.
A tail would be badass.
I think...
Not gonna lie.
Chick
A
wagging a tail.
full-blown tail, though. Not like a little fucking stub.
Like a
because-
finger?
Yeah.
No.
Because that'd be weird. I'd be like, dude, there's like a little finger back there. But if it was
She's
a
fucking poking me.
full-blown, like, dragon tail, I'd be like,
I don't know about a dragon tail.
That'd be
Well,
weird.
what
Yeah,
kind
it's
of
like
tail would a
weird, like,
person have?
Spear on
Maybe
the
like
back
a
or
cat tail.
diamond.
No,
It's all fuzzy. It's
no.
like fucking Goku.
don't know.
The old Saiyans or whatever when they had like the monkey tail, It's like,
I think it'd have to be like,
Long?
I guess like a monkey tail minus the hair.
I don't know.
It just looked
Maybe,
weird.
Maybe strike that.
dude,
Maybe
even
no
a human
tail.
tail, dude, it would look like it just a giant dick. Like one giant weird like hairless finger on a fucking person. Would that look funny? Like a rat's tail, maybe. I guess.
It would
but,
look like a rat's tail, yeah.
But is that where the term comes?
I guess that
squished
would
rat?
look weird too, now that I think about it.
Yeah, squished rat. But I guess even with the sense thing,
Kick
because
him off a cliff.
I feel losing any sense would do that to you, dude. Like, say you lose the sense of touch or like feel and stuff like that. It sounds like crazy or whatever, but
Oh, that
You'd
wouldn't
have to be
too bad.
burnt over your entire body, or all your nerves would
just
have
say
to be
that was
dead.
like
Not
because
really.
no, just say you lose the eyes or saying just say you lose your feeling, so you can't feel a vibration ever again. You don't know if there's wind coming. You can't feel the rain. You can't. Even
you're
if you were
getting
gonna
all
touch a
deep.
nice ass or something, fucking, you would never know.
you just ruined
You would
it.
Yeah,
never.
but you'd
know.
still know the difference between
So
a
you-
nice ass and an ugly ass.
But-
Just saying.
There's a lot of ugly ass
But
people.
what
out there.
determines
Just
that?
kidding.
Would it be like the feel? Because then it goes back to the blind person.
No, not really.
Because like,
It's
hey,
what
they're
you
like,
see.
oh hell yeah, you don't have to see that. He's just like,
What if it's
hell
just a
yeah.
mannequin?
Okay,
It's
so
like,
you're,
boom!
you're looking through a magazine, so you see a nice ass, but you don't know it's a nice ass because you haven't felt it.
But if you're blind,
Like Kim
that
Kardashian,
magazine
look at
just
that.
looks like nothing.
Well, Kim Kardashian, like how you look at in one magazine how they have it set up because she has like her certain paparazzi. You get one picture from one side, then you see like her actual like fake ass, and it's like that's disgusting. And then so you're like, well, tomato,
I've
tomato.
seen
So
that.
you see two versions of it,
Photoshop
and you're like,
version.
what the fuck is this? And so what if you didn't see that? But you're just like, and you're like, whoa, this is cool. And you're blind, and you're slapping away.
You-
Wow, this is awesome. You can't see anything. So in your mind, like, I guess if you've already pictured it, if I've already pictured it and I lost seeing, and then I smacked it and I thought it was the best, then I would imagine the best in my mind, and so it would probably look like that. Unless you haven't seen before, then would you be able to imagine it in your head?
Shit.
It'd be like that Dave Chappelle where
Yeah, the black white supremacist.
Where he's like the black white supremacist, and he divorces his wife because she loved a black guy because he's black. It's like they're like, "Why'd you divorce your wife?" She married a black man. And they're like, "What, dude? That makes no sense."
Yeah, if you haven't seen that, the black white supremacist, he's a supremacist, like a head honcho. I don't know what you call him, but the whole time he didn't know he was black
because he's blind.
because he's wearing a fucking robe the whole time.
Yeah,
Dude, that's so
And then someone tells him,
because that could easily happen.
dude, that is so
Really,
funny.
with all kinds of, even with any of your senses, because what we have, we have a ton of senses. We have sense of
6 of
time,
them.
sense of balance, sense of fucking, I guess, touch, feel.
"No, we have 5 senses, right?" And then the 6th one is to see dead people.
yeah,
Well,
I've got that
Something
one
like
as
that.
well.
I think that's a misconception or something, isn't it? Because originally when we first started kind of studying it, we realized that we had those senses, but then as the time went on, we realized we had more like that. Like we have a sense of balance, or I guess a sense of time. Oh shit, I'm late, or whatever. Even a sense of mortality, or like a sense. All these other outside factors. I guess that
But
you would say to animals
I have
don't
common sense.
I don't know about that.
Yeah. But they're
Maybe lose
few and far in between,
I like
aren't
how
they?
fast you responded to that.
Yeah.
You're like, no, you don't. Shut the
Yeah,
fuck up.
so I was waiting for someone to say common sense. I was like, okay, we'll stop right there.
That's why Tide Pods are Tide Pods, right?
Podcasts? Mm-hmm. What about them?
No, Tide Pod. Have you seen those kids eating Tide Pods?
Yeah, supposedly a bunch of people are dying from them, but only 10 people have.
Only.
Yeah, that's what they were saying.
See, I can't.
I
believe
think
it was
more
such an
people have
epidemic.
died from Tide Pods than have fucking died from sharks this year. I think that's fact.
Do you think that? So, say you lose the sense of taste, or
That would suck. But then again, I would just eat spicy ass food and go to spicy food challenges. Like, oh man, this is so spicy.
Can I get another one?
I guess once you start losing, because those senses, the 6 senses, are probably your most important. Because if you lose the sense of time, you probably don't really get stressed out.
Well, you got to think how many
you know?
people have that sense of time.
What is time though? It's
true.
What are
What are
relevant to the
magnets?
person?
Yeah, it is. It's relevant to the person. So it's the same with the
Exactly.
balance, So you'd be like, I have a sense of, whoa, I better not tip over,
But
Whereas,
some people do.
yeah, you look at Pat Duffy or someone, fucking grinding double kink rails.
What are they called? People who are clumsy all the time.
Klutzes?
Yeah, and they
Klutz?
fall over and shit. Is that a klutz?
Yeah, I'd say klutz. But, I mean, that would be someone, because even people,
So they wouldn't have a sense of.
if you get vertigo, or not vertigo, there's something if your eardrum tips.
That's vertigo.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
You'll lose your whole sense of balance.
Dude, when we
You
went
have to
to
go
when we
tell,
went
like,
camping
your
that one
chick.
year, and I was driving back home, I had my windows rolled down because my truck didn't have AC, so the wind was blowing on my ears for 4 hours.
Oh, I remember you talking
And
about that.
I got back home, went to bed. The next day, woke up, went to work. I started working on a car, and it was a Honda Civic, the 2-door one, black one. And I started working on the rocker, and all of a sudden, I felt like I wanted to fall on my head, the whole world just flipped over. And I got up and I was just like, dude, I don't feel good. What the fuck is going on? And then, for some reason, when you're on one of those spinny rides at a carnival or something, and everything kind of feels like it's moving, the whole world's moving, but it keeps resetting. It moves
afterwards.
an inch, and then it resets, moves an inch, resets, moves an inch, resets.
Yeah.
It's kind of what was going on. I was just like, dude, I think I got up too fast from prepping that rocker because it was down low on a low car. So I was like, I think I got up too fast. I'm just going to relax a little bit. And it kept happening, and I'm like, I got to go home. So I went home, fell asleep. The next day I woke up, and as soon as I opened my eyes, the whole room, instead of moving just an inch, was moving almost 180 and then resetting, moving 180 and resetting. And I was just like, whoa, what the fuck? And I tried to get up, couldn't walk. And every time I tried to walk, the whole world would move about 180 degrees and reset. So what happened is my ear,
There was a
my ear
lag
canal.
in the.
Yeah, it was lagging.
There was a
dude.
lag in the matrix, and I seen it. If you
felt
know,
it.
if you were in the room right now, I'm doing a Donald Trump A-OK sign as I'm saying, I feel it. It's great.
It felt good.
It felt good. We're going to make this podcast great again. But, no, and then I couldn't walk. And I called the freaking teledoc, and I was like, yo, dude, I can't walk. I'm getting vertigo and something in my ear. And he goes, I'm like, everything's leaning to the right. And he's like, it's one of two things. He's like, I don't want to freak you out and sound like Google. He's like, you either have a brain tumor or your ear canal's swollen, and there's these little hairs that are in your ear, and they control your balance. And if those little hairs get touched even a little bit, your vertigo goes to shit until those hairs straighten out. And it usually takes about 6 months for those hairs to completely straighten back out. So what happened is, I guess on the drive back from that camping trip, and the wind was like pounding on my ear.
I believe it's
it like inflamed my ear, and it swelled up in my ear canal, fucking with those little hairs or whatever. It made me get vertigo, and it bent them out of shape because they did like a CT scan and shit on my head to see if I had cancer or tumor. And I guess they said
It's not a tumor.
No, it wasn't a tumor. Those little hairs.
Like, oh
were
my
bent.
God, there's no tumor here. There's literally nothing
There's
here.
nothing.
There's nothing inside
it's an
here.
empty
It's
void.
empty.
Yeah, they took me to a room, and they were like hitting like rubber mallets on my head and recording it, making music.
Yeah, they're like, literally, there's nothing here. They look back, Admir's already off the
And
operating
that's how we
table.
got
He's standing
Darude
behind him.
Sandstorm.
Can't let anybody look inside.
Yep, I can't let anyone see that it was actually a small alien controlling me.
It probably was, dude. It's like the new disclosure, all those UFO
like the Men in
releases.
Black.
The light of
whatever.
Zartha.
Yeah, dude, that's how it would be. You never even fucking know, because like those UFO things that got released just barely by the Pentagon or whatever, that declassification of those jets, like, fucking, I don't
The
even know.
F-16s following the UFOs and the pilots telling
Yeah,
their
it was
stories.
like 8 years ago or something. Well, yeah, did you listen to the
They got
pilot
hella
talk about it?
juked.
Yeah, he was like saying they seen it, and in the interview it's more crazy because you just see the one little video they talk about, but when the guy's talking to the news thing, he's like, well, we engaged on a whole fleet of them, so we flew into one that was down low, and so like they just brushed past the part that there's like hundreds already.
Yeah.
And then he's like, we just flew towards it, and we're like, oh, it's a Tic Tac, a floating Tic Tac. And so then we started getting closer and closer, and then we there's two of them. So it was a jet that engaged, and so he's like, when I started coming down at a clockwise motion, it automatically instantly mimicked me. He was like, and like locked grid with me, and he's like, that's why we're just sitting in the thing, and he's like following it. He's like going down, 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 and he's like, when I finally kind of started cutting across the circle to try and cut its head off, he's like, it just disappeared. He's like, it was like a shot from a gun. It was like back with gone. You know, he's like back with the other ones, back wherever, and that was it.
What I liked about it is he was actually talking about it as if a fighter pilot was talking about it. It wasn't like it didn't sound like it was just some dude. Yeah, man, I was flying my freaking jet, and we were going.
Yeah.
Oh man, it was so sweet.
And then we came down. Oh, dude, we get pitted.
Pitted, bro.
Yeah, because it was like he did do it like that kind of.
He did it
like,
really
"Get
well.
pitted." No,
He was like, I was on an east. He's like, it was to my east. I was heading south or whatever. And then he's like,
I was going
then I
24
moved to my
knots.
6 o'clock to my east. And I was just like, this guy, he's probably a good pilot.
yeah, because even at the end or wherever, he's like,
Well,
"What'd
that's
you
one
think
thing
about it?" He's
Admiral
like, I
knows
wanted to
is
fly
good
it.
pilots.
Yeah.
Remember, because at the end he's like, "Oh, well, I just really wanted to fly it." It's like, oh,
Yeah.
Because at the end he's like, "What the fuck?" You know, like he wanted to fly it. It's a real pilot, really. He's like, "Oh shit."
He's like, I was going to
Yeah,
shoot
when you're
that thing
flying
down
that
so they
fucking
can make money.
F-16 though.
I could fly it. I could be like Will Smith flying alien spaceship.
Gotta get me one of these.
Gotta get me one of them.
The thing about that,
Right
so
into the mothership.
going back to your senses, say like that's what makes you like tip over, or whatever. Say maybe the aliens in the future will say they like realize it. They're like, we don't need these fucking little hairs. They just create vertigo. So you just like when you're a baby and sometimes
No, they help you balance though.
But yeah, it's like, fuck it. You don't need balance where we're going. Cut those off, and then you're just out in space. There's no gravity or anything. You're just fucking, whoa, whatever. So you're just in your little pod, and they just make zero gravity inside your little pod. You have no freaking balance, and you're just like, so you can handle all the G-forces.
What would be the point of that?
So you can handle space and G-force, but you can't land on a planet.
true,
That's
huh?
why you just fucking fly around in a little pod.
It's
That's like
not.
the
It's not
weakness.
your gravity that doesn't allow you to handle G-force.
It'd be like your
It's
sense of balance,
exactly
though,
what
wouldn't
it
it be?
is.
If your
No.
vertigo's gone?
Yeah.
your G-force.
G-forces.
So if you're flying at like 1,000,000 miles an hour through space and you're telling
Well, this
me
is definitely
someone-
bro science for sure.
bro science
But
right now.
It's
What would happen if you get to a planet?
Then
You get
you
off
don't.
you-
You,
you
stay in
can't-
your pod, dude. You just gotta stay potted.
God damn it!
Dude, just stay in your pod. That's all I know.
I think it's dumb.
And this is like
I'd
WALL-E,
rather
you know?
I'd rather not do that. That's like circumcising people. It's pointless.
Well, it's like going to a planet where you don't have the oxygen. You gotta stay in your little pod.
That's why you don't go to that planet.
Because what if your pod's like a human and
you
you're
can
just
have
like
a
inside
bubble.
of its head?
Bubble Boy. You ever watch that movie?
Yeah, it's a good
But
movie.
you would still
That'd be
have
horrible.
gravity in that.
Maybe.
Unless you didn't need it. You're just inside of it.
If
and
the
it's
planet
like
had
floating
gravity,
it.
right?
Man.
I think what
Physics
we should
is
do,
one thing that I wish that they would have really taught more in school because I
Yeah.
was very rough on that.
You know what I think they thought? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
What I wish they had taught more in school was everything.
Words.
What they taught us in school was garbage.
Yeah, that's true. Who needs math, you know?
No, it wasn't even math. It was shit.
They teach you that Thomas Edison's sitting in one room with a little light bulb pulling out with little strings.
Christopher Columbus shows up and everybody, hey, America, congratulations.
What they should
we
have done is the
discovered
real
this
thing.
place, and they're like, welcome to the place you discovered, I guess. Come on in.
Nobody's ever lived here before. Hey, you, get out of here.
What
We're
they
going to
should have
take your
done is they should have
jobs.
showed a
Original, take
picture
your jobbers.
of Columbus just raping a continent. And then what's that other fucking guy?
Thomas Edison.
Him just stealing. Like if they had Nikola Tesla as a cartoon, this would be a good cartoon. Nikola Tesla building something like with one hand, and with the other hand putting the project in his back pocket, and then behind him you have Thomas Edison taking ideas out of his other pocket. So as though
Pictures and shit.
yeah, so as though come on, help me out here.
He's taking them as fast as he's fucking putting them
Yeah,
in
so
there,
one
really.
guy's like making them, and then the other guy's stealing them. But we're glorifying the one guy that's stealing them.
Putting them up in headlines. Because even Edison technically did sit there with the light bulbs, dude, and sit there and like go through every one and put like the little filaments in there. But he did it to make imperfect light bulb. So like the light bulb was already invented. The one that Nikola Tesla had in his office still runs to this day, and it still works. And Thomas Edison was like, "Well, fuck that piece. What about this thing? Oh, it'll last too long too. Fuck this piece. What about this thing? It'll last too long too. Fuck this piece. How about this? A string. Zzz, that burns out pretty fast. Let's throw these in light bulbs." And then bam. So technically he did. He made the shittiest version of a light bulb possible.
There is that
No,
light
he
bulb.
made the most capitalist light
Fuck
bulb as
yeah.
possible.
There is a light bulb.
Come
that's
back
in a
and buy
fire
another one
station
in 2
right now
hours.
That's still burning to this day. It's burned for like 200 years or something. It's still burning to this day. It's in a fire department.
Yeah, isn't that like one of the thing with the light bulb is that
You Google it, longest burning light bulb.
Well, it had been invented way before Thomas Edison and them were even born, wasn't it? And like that, like a lot of these original ideas is where Tesla started like realizing that there was like that world, I guess, and so he'd seen, oh, what the fuck? You can make these things. You can make these things.
What if there's another world, like a light world?
Probably another dimension, dude. It probably
It's called
really
the
is.
sun.
Just the opposite of we. We have a world that is. Isn't there a world that isn't?
Because if you think about it, what we're seeing is what light is reflecting off of you. So I'm technically seeing your
Well,
past
you're technically seeing everything upside down.
view. Upside down and in the past.
Correct.
Because it takes time for light to travel from that to your face, from your face to my eyes. Even though I wish I could just block that.
Are you seeing it though, or is it like, what if it just hits into your eyes and then your brain fucking makes up what it wants?
But how are mirrors real if our eyes aren't real?
Mirrors, what?
Mirrors are real. Our eyes are
fake. Mirrors are real.
real. They just can't see themselves. An eye can't see itself, right?
Jaden Smith.
The other day I was
An ear can't hear itself.
talking to someone. I'm like, dude, isn't it weird that the brain is the only organ that named itself?
Yeah.
And they're like, what? And I'm like, and I was like, dude, your brain is the only organ that named itself. Think about it. And he's like, you know what? That's actually probably the smartest thing I've ever heard you say. I'm like, I just heard it somewhere else and I repeated it. I ain't smart.
Then he's like, perfect. That makes a lot more sense now. He's like, now I know why you said that.
He's like, now I know why you're an idiot. Get out of here. And I was like, but I work here. You came to visit me.
You're fired.
He's, get out of here.
He's like walking into the shop. They're like, you don't work here, dude. You always walk through the shop. You always come walking in here. You're like, dude, I'm here now.
I've been thinking about that too. You know the game Hitman?
Yeah.
So, like, if you go in and you change into the clothes of somebody at a certain area that works and you can walk around and no one's going to notice you, I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, dude, if someone walked through my work in a uniform, I'd be like, who the fuck is that guy?
I know. That's
I've never
right
seen
Yeah, but
that
you're not
dude
going to walk
before.
up to him and be like, hey, get out of here, buddy. You're going to be like, huh, who's that? I'm going to get back to work.
No,
And
I'm
you're
gonna
start
be like-
working.
I'm
and
gonna
the
walk up
next
to
thing you
him
know,
and
you're
be
going to
like,
turn
hey.
around. Everybody's dead. You got a fucking silence P98 in your face.
No, dude. As soon as I seen him, I'd run up and push the alarm. Man, intruder alert. Man.
He's
That's what
right
I
at
do.
you.
No.
Shoots me first.
Because that's one way to play Hitman. What if he doesn't even do that, dude? He just doesn't even go into. That's what I liked about that game. You didn't have to dress up like the people you want. You just walk in there,
blasting people.
you're being seen. Fuck you.
That's why I love Metal Gear Solid. Metal Gear Solid 5 specifically. That shit's ridiculous, dude.
Just
so
you
much
either
fun.
go in crazy or you go in stealth-like.
You're going halfway stealth-like, and then someone sees you, and you're like, well, you just killed everybody.
They did a pretty good job with that on the new Ghost Recon Wildlands. You ever play that game?
I was gonna, but I heard a lot of bad things about it.
There were, and when the game first came out, there was a lot of bad things, but I think they fixed it a bunch now. So it's pretty good, but it's basically a single-player game, but you can play with your buddies. So if you don't like playing online competitive games, that game's fun, and it's good to play it on extra hard, like the extreme hardest settings, because that way. If you play it on like lower settings, it shows you where the people are on the map. They're kind of like bright.
So you don't have to do no research.
Yeah, you don't have to do no research. But if you play it on the hardest, you don't see anybody. It's just a map.
recon.
And it'll just tell you, go to this, coordinate, and that's where the mansion is of the cartel or whatever. And you'd have to get there, and then you drone out. You send your little drone, and you have to spot all the guys and find them. And then you got to time sniping individual people so that other guys don't see you, or you could just go balls deep and run in there with an LMG and try to kill everybody. But
Is it single player or multiplayer?
it's 4 players.
Because that's one thing I'd heard that they were moving away from with like games. They're starting to make like those huge epic single player games. Like how they had Elder Scrolls and shit, and
Skyrim and shit.
yeah, because like there's like no money in it now, and gaming had changed. So when people
No, it's all about DLCs, dude.
well, people thought gaming.
DLCs.
Well, gaming back then. Think about a game back then. Any fucking game you bought, it was a one-player game. Or if you had 2 players, they would sit on the other console with you. It was just there. Now, like people, even that's the idea of gaming. They still have. Oh, my kid is sitting in front of a computer. You fucking loser. He's playing a game. They don't see that as like a massive world and there's a million people he's actually talking to. Instead, they just see it like as if they were sitting in front of an NES console and a TV.
Yeah.
What the hell, And that's like how they used to design games. But now everything is more set up how games are, which is a massive online game, like with freaking PUBG or whatever, 100 fucking players, and so the kid's now playing with 100 more people, actually socializing with way more people than any of the other brothers walking down the street in the neighborhood, and hanging out with way more friends and people. On top of all that, and then, it's like a shifted even version. So people are like, "Oh, that's gaming." When really gaming now is actually
Socializing, really.
It's like it's like a giant online world you step into.
Which is what I try to explain to somebody the other day. I'm like, look, you get on PUBG, for instance. I think 60% of PUBG players are actually Chinese players.
Oh, I heard that shit. Yeah,
So
dude.
you get on PUBG, dude.
I was watching
and-
your brother's streams. I'm like, what is this, dude?
Dude.
Like a random guy would always get on there, and it was always a Chinese guy.
It'd be a Chinese guy, and
was like,
the
that's
cool thing
crazy,
is
dude.
like
That's
some of
cool
them
shit.
speak English, and they speak like half English, half Chinese. So
They're
you
always
could,
down though. They're down.
They're down. They're down to play. But what's crazy is, dude, you can get in these servers. The best servers, I think, for like diversity is the European servers. You jump into a European server, dude, and you jump into like a 10-man squad because they've got like custom games. So you can jump into a 10-man squad that's based in like Europe or something. And you'll get French people, Russian people, English people, people from Norway, everywhere, dude. Chinese people in there.
That's impossible to avoid in a European country,
Yeah.
though.
Well, European servers, if you play any game on a European server,
Because the countries are so small.
and they're clustered together,
You're going to be playing with
the,
everybody.
The only thing is like you get into a European server, your odds of playing with a Russian player are really high. You get in any other server, your odds of playing with a Chinese person are really high. But, which is like, I give them credit for this. A lot of them know English. So like you jump in and they'll know a lot more English than you know Chinese. Or Mandarin, or whatever you want to call it.
Google
Dude,
Translate.
They're gonna. There's some weird. I don't know. Some weird thing going on with that too. Because have you seen a lot of those? How they have a bunch of people come teach English in China or whatever. So they have all these kids that can come over there and they'll take you and they want you to come teach English in China. And so like they'll take kids and you can go live there for like 6 months and but you can't really travel, but you're there and you teach kids English, or you do it online and you have to meet there a certain time and you sit on the front of the computer and you teach them English. Most of the time, the stipulation is you have to know zero Chinese. Like a lot of times they want you to know no Chinese.
Yeah, so
only
they have to
English.
figure it out or
yeah.
what?
And
That's fucking badass,
And so they
dude.
bounce it off you, and then I mean, also too, there's no. You're not learning it either, you know. It's just like, hey, they're just taking all that info. Yeah, give it to us, dude. Give it. And so a lot of so with like so they'll take all these dumb kids and stuff. Yeah, man, I'll go live over there, and then they'll live there, and they can hang out, but some rural area in China, and they can't go anywhere because they're not allowed. They have to be there, fucking 7 days a week and shit. Because China, you work fucking
No days off.
yeah, you don't get any days off, and so people are like, I'm gonna go vacation teaching English over there. Yeah, right. And then you go over there and that's the kind of thing that happens. Like, we don't want you speaking in English. We don't want you, or speaking Chinese. We don't want you doing any of that stuff. We want only speaking English. We want you to take an American culture person and come over here and give us that. Give us your slang. Give us this. Give us that. It's very smart, very, very clever learning too, because if it's the dominant language, already it's smart because they're going to learn the dominant language. And then if you can even say they were to implement their own language with the amount of people they have, you could almost say that's a more dominant language. Say they were to spread out. If more Chinese people started living everywhere else and they all started speaking Mandarin, we'd be like, what the fuck, dude? They're all speaking English.
Hopefully we're sending over the right people, though.
Fuck, I know. It's mostly like hippies and people and shit. They're like, I'm going to go fucking travel the world and see China. When it's like, you see one part of China and you're there for 6 months inside of a fucking little area. You have to work.
I think that's the thing people don't realize is, I bet you could spend the rest of your life traveling China. Just China alone. That's how big the world is.
Dude, I know.
If you were
China.
like, let me travel the world, I bet you could travel just China in your lifespan.
It's true.
If you walked around everywhere, visited everything, I bet your lifespan would be traveling just China. You think about how big that place is, dude.
Hillsides, all the area. I mean, yeah, if you were to even walk, most people's lifetimes in foot, that's why when you hear Genghis Khan, you're like, so they went from Mongolia and Russia and all that stuff all the way to basically,
Rome.
Yeah, the Mediterranean. That's so far. Like that. Those people are like, those are like the first world travelers, really. Like that's some of the furthest migration. There's like, woo, and
here we go, raping and pillaging. Yay.
yeah, Subudai as the one general, his original scout generals, they just send him off kind of up into where Germany was, into kind of even to where Russia was, like more in that Estonia. Hey, what's up there? We're gonna go down here. All right, just send some squad, a fucking general squad up there, and they just start. That's their encounter with the Mongols, and they know of the Mongols as like this crazy horde, and it's just a small general party, and they're out there fucking destroying everybody. All right, yeah, there's a bunch of clans up here. They're pretty decent. They're stupid though. They just get caught up, and we can easily, like catch them, because they were even doing stupid things where they'd like run up there and like shoot a bunch of arrows and like do all that kind of stuff.
That was in Russia, though, right?
Yeah, and they're like, we're gonna attack them, and they'll run off, and then they just take off their horses, and the army would still pursue them, and then they would just have a set of horses because they usually carried 3 horses with them. Drop those ones off, get the other fresh ones, come running back, do it all again. They're like, ugh, drop them down a little bit. They'd still be pursuing them. They just run back, get those fresh horses, run back in, hit them again, run off. It's like they're just mowing down armies, not taking one hit really, and they're like, oh my god, these guys are crazy, and it's just a scout party. And then you're like, oh.
Yeah. Send a scout party out there.
And these are on and horses back then, too, is like, that might as well have been the future. Going from foot, walking on foot, you would probably never even cross into another country if you're in China. And then all of a sudden you get a horse, like, maybe you crash into another you might actually do that once in your life, Along with, if you've seen a guy that had a fucking guitar and he started playing a song, you might actually hear your favorite song once in your life.
You know what I think would be cool is if you could.
Who else is playing that?
If you could be an alien race and view human history as it unfolded from the very beginning. Just watch it in like an invisible UFO, just watching them do their
You'd
thing.
just be like, wow, this is a virus.
They probably already have that TV show. It's like that South Park.
I just think it'd be so cool.
What will happen next? I'd love to do that. I wish we could have like
you can watch like the Jin Dynasty fight the Mongolian Empire. You're like, oh, it's so great. They're fighting each other.
Yeah, there's no time ever that like I would, if someone's like, all right, you're going to screw up the time and you can go back in and start changing. I would never go back ever. Like I'd be like, no, I want to just keep going. Whatever happens.
Fuck that, I'd do it.
Fuck that. But if I could like just watch it, like they're like, well, here's a YouTube channel. It's called The Past, and you can just watch anything you want on the past. I'd fucking probably never leave the house. I'd just be watching that shit all day long. I'd be like, whoa, dude, that's what they really look like in formation. I wonder always what happened. There's like a line of dudes right next to each other that had to take a piss, in the middle of battle. I'm going to kill your ass in a second. You ready? Come on, dude.
I think it'd be funny to watch the Great Wall of China being built in like
1963.
2 times speed.
Fucking
It's like you're like, oh, look at that. Imagine being aliens watching them build it. You're like, oh, look, they're building a wall. How cute.
they built that shit like fucking 20, 30 years ago, dude. They didn't even finish most of it. It was like it's such a lie that they have.
The Great Wall of China?
Yeah, it was only like a small little portion of it. They finished it like barely like 20 years ago. They barely started like finishing it in like 1920 or 1940. Like
I thought like a large part of it was already finished.
barely. Like it was like when you go to the thing.
80 years ago.
Yeah, there was a one because I always thought that, and then I watched some TV show when I was younger, and they take this guy who is like their uncle or whatever, and they take him to these places, and he just bitches about everything. He's like, "What the hell is this? What the heck?"
Is that Don Vito?
Kind of like Don Vito. He's like, "I don't want to be anywhere," you know. And so they took him to the Great Wall of China, and he like read the plaque. What's so great about some wall that was built within like 20 years ago or whatever and everything? He's like, they barely finished this part. And like the whole time, and it's like bitching about this huge portion which they finished to make it for tourism and stuff.
Oh.
It's like a big portion you can't even go check
There's
out,
a
which is
McDonald's
actual
on it.
real. You know, there's like real portions. And the wall itself is like a big portion of it's like not that big. It's just like a wall kind of. But the rest of it was all made more grand for
My
recent
brother's
times.
been there.
It's like how a fucking bunch of dipshits now are making statues, you know, for like General Lee and all them people in like 1970. You're like, what the fuck is this?
I want to make a statue of myself doing something glorious and just leave it in the mountains and bury it so that future generations find it and they'd be like, who is this?
It's like riding a lion.
Yeah,
they
but
tame
they're riding the-
lions.
Yeah.
Riding a lion in the
Sure,
Americas.
they'll be like, oh, we can tell exactly when this was made by the minerals he used. Some jackass.
No
named
way,
Madman.
dude. I take a freaking Roman statue and carve my face into it, kind of like what they did with the
It'd be
Sphinx.
like someone recarved his face.
That's what I'd do if I was Elon Musk, dude. I'd freaking like fly to Mars, get some Mars rocks, bring them back, make some statues of himself, you know. Maybe make a couple of fake pyramids. Fucking.
What I would do if
And
I was
like, these
Elon
are
Musk,
Mars rocks. Oh my god, mind blow.
I'd make a fucking statue of myself, a big one. Put it on one of my rockets and launch it towards Mars. So that on the proper coordinates and calculations, it would let go of the freaking statue in space and it would enter Mars' atmosphere and land, boom, smack dab where I want my city to be on the perfect upward position.
420 longitude, 69 latitude.
And it would just land, boom, this statue of myself standing there in the middle of
Standing
freaking
a
Mars.
car.
So it's
Standing in a car.
fucking cape and shit. It's like,
So then when future generations come and they build around my statue in the middle of a city, it's already there. They don't even have to put a statue there. Dun, dun,
meteorite
dun.
out of like your dumb luck, you're just like, yes, you have it there for a couple years, and then just some meteorite out of space, whatever Kuiper Belt wants to. It's like shoo,
Right
crushes
into
the
my
statue. You're like, of all the places,
All the places on the entire fucking planet.
places. That's like with a lot of those meteorites that even strike the Earth. Almost all of them, I feel, hit the top. Really, a ton around the ice caps. Even the one that I believe that you hear in a lot of the old stories that had struck the almost ice caps and kind of started that melting thing that pushed off all the dinosaurs and stuff. But don't you find that so weird that everything always hits the top of the ice cap? It's like
The one that killed the dinosaurs hit in the Gulf of Mexico.
Did it? Mm-hmm. I thought there was like one that was up like a little further, kind of like more North Canada, that was called like the Pleistocene era or whatever.
Pleistocene?
or something like that.
I know the theory is that it was more than one meteorite that struck. One of the major ones that
Definitely.
did the big blow was the one that hit the Gulf of Mexico, which is what killed a lot. And then I think the one that finished them off was the one that hit the ice caps and melted off a lot of water.
In the water of Gulf of Mexico?
Yeah.
We got to understand there was a lot of dinosaurs taking our jobs.
Yeah.
So God had to send a
So
meteorite
ideally-
straight down.
If it's going to hit the Gulf of Mexico, you're going to wipe out a lot of them.
Yeah, a lot
Well, that's the other funny part about the...
Taking our damn jobs. A lot of
All them
dinosaurs with
dinosaurs.
mustaches.
Taking our jobs.
Well, dude, dinosaurs are racist already, dude. Because they only just show you they just show you reptiles. It's like there's almost more mammals than there was reptiles.
Yeah,
A
but
lot of them had feathers.
Yeah, none of them you get taught, dude. It's like because like back then, really too, when you're like learning it in school, they weren't even trying to teach dinosaurs. That was like a thing that started coming up and was so fascinating that they had.
But
to.
they didn't really know about them back then.
They didn't want to teach you that shit though. It was going to be a test, dude. It's a
It's a test from God.
doesn't have dinosaurs.
Silly humans. No, but even the movie Jurassic Park, they tried to be 100% factual on all the dinosaurs, and they even got the raptors wrong. A velociraptor isn't the big one that you see in Jurassic Park. The
That's
one
a
where he's
Utah raptor.
Clever girl. That's a Utah raptor. And a Utah raptor is actually even bigger than the ones that were in the movie. A velociraptor is actually really small. It's like maybe up to your knees, and it's a bird, basically. So when they're like, they're velociraptors, it's like, no, they're not. Sorry.
And I
was
heard
like a mix.
wasn't it like the Stegosaurus and the T-Rex weren't even in the same fucking era?
Oh yeah, that's right.
40,000 years apart or something like
yeah,
that.
it's like they're more close. Like we're more closely related to a T-Rex than like a T-Rex is to a Stegosaurus, or even those like fucking flat topped ones that have like the mace tail. Like those things are even way farther in the I guess.
I think it's cool how they found a
Gummosaurus.
mummified version of that, the Ankylosaurus.
Yeah, like it's all.
yeah.
There we go.
That thing's fucking still
See, think
alive,
about that.
I swear.
Like how many? There's so many of those that, like even like besides the woolly mammoth, like you can't even name a big portion of the like large megafauna and stuff that were around that time.
I think it'd be
We never
cool to have
teach
some
that
plants
shit,
from
dude.
then. You know, the theory is that avocados are actually ancient plants because the seed pods are so huge that they think that no animals could digest them.
Oh, over time, so they couldn't spread. It was just the same thing. or
Yeah.
whatever.
Just shit them out.
Because, like, if you think about it, like, what animal can eat? So, how do seeds normally spread? You eat the fruit and you poop out the seed. But
toss
think
the
about how
seeds.
big a fucking avocado seed is, dude. Imagine pooping that thing out. Imagine
Look at
eating
that.
6
Easy.
full avocados.
It just drops right there.
Dude, you got, like, I don't even want
Well, unless you're
beads
huge,
coming
dude.
out. You know what I mean?
Dude, if you're a dinosaur though, if you're like a dinosaur-sized person, it'd be like eating a bunch of sesame seeds.
Yeah,
Say
dude,
you're a
simple.
dinosaur and you have freaking avocado seed bun.
Yeah, it wouldn't
Nothing
be
to
bad.
you, dude. Like what the fuck is sesame?
But that's what I'm
seed?
saying. Like, to modern animals, the avocado seed is huge.
Fuck yeah. Dude.
I could see maybe an elephant eating it.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I feel like it's our whole
elephant,
planet,
a
everything on our
giraffe.
planet. Dude, our entire planet is crazy. Imagine if you were to come to our planet, like say you were from Mars, where everything's red rock and more, you could say normal. Everything looks more normal, and then you were to come to Earth, dude. If you were to like walk through it, yeah,
You
like,
die of smog poisoning.
yeah, especially in Salt Lake during spring. Look at all these beautiful flowers. You'd be so excited. Your body, you'd be like happy
Melting.
seeing all these crazy things. You put it in all the smog, fucking inversion would be melting your brain. You'd fucking die. But
Melting your brain.
even then, think about coming to Earth, like seeing comparable to like a lot of those other planets and stuff, dude. Just going through the rainforest, I met like even now. We've been in the desert and stuff.
That's
Me going
probably
through the
why aliens are
rainforest
so
probably blows my
fascinated
mind.
by us. What if aliens aren't actually aliens? Let's say another race got smart enough to create AI, and they sent the AI out, and the AI became aware of itself, destroyed its alien counterparts, and now it's going around just studying things, and it found our planet. It's like, this is so unique, and it's just studying us.
I can see it.
And they're just trying to figure out how they were made.
Yep.
Imagine
They're
they were
what are
like
these humans?
giant cats. Say like they're cat people, like
I'm-
actual cats, thundercats.
Damn.
But they had attitudes of cats. That would be some shit they'd do, dude. Cats don't give a fuck about you. They'd be like, "Bring me my food, bitch." You know, like they don't. They
You're
want
talking about cat aliens?
yeah, like a
I'd like
giant
to see some
cat.
of these.
Like so, if it looked like a
Giant
person,
cats.
but it was like a cat, you know, like thundercats.
Ooh,
So
I'm
real
interested.
furries?
Yeah, they'd leave us. They'd be like, "All right, cat people, let's go." Fucking
If there are cat people out there listening
looking
to this,
themselves
come
and
on
be like,
down here. I'd like to speak with you.
But do you think say those cat people like advanced and then left? And then would they? You think
They
you'd
wouldn't
still
leave.
monitor,
You kidding
right?
me?
You'd come back and monitor. We got to monitor our little ones. Hey, that's a test too. You want to see if we want to let them into our solar system. We had to see how they treat us. Let's let them have little versions of us, and then they can treat us this way. And so then they can.
Dude, they'd love us because the way we
like-
treat them. I think we've got SWAT team
Whatever,
at the door or
dude.
something.
Cats are like reverse dominant. They like rub the face on you only to get, because that's where all their glands are, to get that scent. They shit and then don't cover it so they can show you who's boss. Yeah.
I don't know.
They freak. Like, dude, cats have this mentality where it's.
The thing that pisses me off about my cats
them.
is they found out that they could get food if they meow. So now every time I fucking walk upstairs, they're constantly meowing because they want me to refill their food bowl. And I'm like, bitch, you just fucking ate.
You're a person in their cat's world, dude.
No, dude. So
Like,
what
"Come
I
on,
do...
stupid food
So what
over
I do
here,
is I
sweet
put
dumbass."
one piece of food in each of their little bowls. Just one little piece. And they like look at me like, "Are you fucking serious?" I'm
They're like, that
"That's
was
all
more
you're
work
getting."
for you to dig out one fucking kernel than
Yep.
to take a scoop.
I'm like, "That's all you're
And you're
getting."
like, "You goddamn right."
Because I'm getting them into that mentality that when they meow and they ask for food, all they're getting is one.
Oh, that's
Like
a
that's
good
all
idea.
you're getting, dude. You ask, you meow, you get one.
Because that's how dogs
So
and
just
stuff.
keep meowing, keep meowing, keep meowing,
And they'll
just
get
put
one.
One.
That's it.
One.
That's very smart
One.
because that's how animals train you versus you training them. Like that's how my dog trained me basically. Like when I had it against the door would shut. I had a bell against the door, and so if he wanted to go, he'd always bump against the door. So we put the bell like low, and he'd bump against the bell and just go to it. Like even if he didn't do it, we just do it anyways. Start opening the door, open the door. Well, now because it makes it good. He flicks the bell and he can go outside and go. So I used to go to the bathroom. If he just wants to go outside, he's flicking the bell, and we're fucking getting up. So I'm like, God. Just like now we're his little bitches. He's like, "Ding, door me." Fucking let him out. Going to scout for some
Opposable
cat shit,
thumbs.
or whatever it is. They're like hunting down. Ooh, thank you.
Thank you, Lexi.
Well, what are they? Opposable thumbs. That'd be like if cat with opposable thumbs would probably be. They'd probably run the
Terrifying.
universe. They'd be like in control, wouldn't they? Like
No, because
'Cause
people have AKs.
would they have like taught it though? Because that's one thing I always like joke with.
You want to
like,
know one thing humans are really good at? I'll tell you this right now.
being smart?
No, we're really good at making animals go extinct.
Really fucking good.
I know.
There's a reason why a lot of animals have gone extinct since people came around. Even when we had spears. Look at the buffalo. Dude, we got a train. We fill it with cowboys with guns. And any freaking buffalo within 20
What?
feet of that train is getting shot.
That's so true.
Not once.
they even-
Multiple times.
They even thought like with how like effective killers that the Indians were, or I guess natives and stuff were, that
Indigenous.
the indigenous culture, they would have
asshole brick.
they would have made him extinct anyways,
Fucking
dude.
dick. Point proven. We get a guy here and he's going around
Well,
killing things.
I just try and call everybody American and stuff, and they're like, "Don't put me in a box. I'm in this one. Yeah, I check this box and this box and this box and this one too." And I'm like, "Oh my god."
If you don't want to get put in a box, you can't identify as someone who's putting themselves in another box.
Most of the time for me though, my
make sense?
box starts very simple. It's like, do you or do you not wipe your ass? I do wipe my own ass. So you are just as fucking dirty as me, you scumbag. Like, so I can't take
Wait,
anybody
you wipe
else's.
your ass? I
Unfortunately,
just let
I
mine
do.
aerate out. And
I don't have a
You ever
servant.
use a
I don't have a
compressed
servant
air
that
blower?
comes, like, yeah, it's like,
Get rid of all of it.
He like shoots it up the wall and stuff. What the fuck? You drive a dirt bike in here? Yeah. It's like,
You don't have a carpet?
yeah, it's like-
Dirt bike.
yeah. You just come over. Everyone's like wiping their ass on the carpet. It's like scooting across the bottom. Like, what are you doing?
Drive a dirt bike through it. I just have that in my that picture image in my head was just like on the wall.
Yeah, you gotta.
How
imagine
the
it.
fuck did you get on the ceiling? That's what I want to know.
oh,
But-
trust me, dude. It's
But if you
90
do, if you
PSI.
do go back to that though, like that's what I always find about funny with people, even when people are cool. They do certain things and there's moments in time where you're like,
Team
hell
people.
yeah, oh my god, you did something awesome. At the end of the day, though, like with the apostles and stuff, you look at the people like, oh my god, they talk to God, they have this church and stuff. Does he get up in the middle of the night and have to take a shit because he ate bad food the day before? Yeah, everybody does that kind
Wait,
of
that's
stuff.
what makes you take a shit at night?
If you ate bad before, that's a possibility, a very
Damn.
strong possibility.
I should probably start eating better.
Think about that stuff. Do they go and maybe whoever they're talking to, they had a bad attitude and two bad attitudes collide and they just have a bad day? It's like that shit happens. People are people. They like run into those type of things, and I always find it funny when people try and make themselves seem special. Like kind of if you
We
were
are
like an
special.
apostle or even like I'm the president, but it's like, but dude. I know you do the same things. You stub your toes. You have to do the same things I have to do. Like at the end of the day, the people at the end of the day.
So what you're saying is, if you have an army, instead of glorifying the sergeant, you glorify the entire regiment, because even the regular dude that's like
Wrong.
first rank. No, you're wrong. They have, because without the regular recruits, what do you have? You have one sergeant. But if you take 100 of the regular guys,
You got to think of how
plus
the sergeant got there.
Yeah, he got there because he's better than them at fighting. But you got to look at the
Or
entire
previous
unit.
battles.
But you got to look at the entire unit. The sergeant by himself doesn't win the battle. If he goes out and fights by himself, guess what's going to happen to him? He's going to probably get killed by a recruit from the other side, somebody who's way shittier in rank
Have you
than
seen
him.
Troy, the movie?
Oh,
Yes.
With Achilles?
Achilles is a fictional character.
No, and then it's Brad Pitt. She comes out, and they get their biggest
though.
person.
I guess he is pretty freaking
He
badass.
knocks off this one chick. She's all over him. He's like, "Get off, wench." Gets up, grabs a spear, goes out there, charges the dude, kills him. War over. That's the sergeant.
Except
It
he's.
is.
except
Well,
that's
it's
not
like the
how
old
normal
saying.
wars go.
Well, I read this pretty cool book. It was like the 32 different like laws of strategy or whatever, and they told like different versions of strategy, and so like people would, I guess, do that kind of same thing, like the Achilles one, where like where they would have just one battle, and that strategy would like end that battle, you know. So like you could avert, killing fucking
Millions.
millions of lives, you know, just having one battle or one person do the battle per se.
Two guys fight, basically.
Yeah, and that was like really common, you know, because fucking
Not
How would
everybody
the
needs to
agreement
die.
go? You'd walk up to the other general and you'd be like, all right, you send your best guy, I send my best guy. The winning best guy's army becomes the leader and you become my subordinate.
Yep.
hell yeah, dude.
Or you can lose more than half of your guys, and you'll still be our bitch. You know what I mean?
Because they always did. They always engaged, and not always, but a big portion of the time, they always had people engage, and they would, you know, go over the rules of engagement in battle and stuff. Because it's a sad fact, but honestly, like a lot of people that would engage, like when they would see like the generals and that kind of stuff, even like Caesar, he had this huge crazy general. The difference between Caesar and Alexander the Great was Alexander the Great was a conqueror, you know. Genghis Khan was a conqueror. Fucking dude, Caesar was like it was like playing on a chessboard, you know. We're gonna move our guys here. We're gonna move our guys here, you know. Like
He wasn't participating in the battles?
well, he participated, but not
Yeah, with his
necessarily like
binoculars.
not like fucking Alexander, you know, like where he was
Did you know there's a
blood
conspiracy
rust.
thinking that Julius Caesar was actually Jesus?
No.
What?
Yeah, there's a conspiracy that people think that because the book of Caesar was written before, I think, Jesus.
Well, I could see Caesar putting that forth as a mode of propaganda. It's like same with King James, dude.
Well, the way it was played out was they were both born in a certain city. They were both born poor.
Jerusalem.
They both made their way up in life.
As
They both started from the bottom.
Yeah, they both started from the bottom. Now they're there.
That's cool.
Yeah, freaking Caesar's story. That is
So
one.
Caesar,
Well, Caesar's
Jesus,
book, you can read-
Drake.
Yeah,
you
he's
can
crazy, dude. Really, yeah. Like,
Freaking Eminem.
Drake
You
is way cool.
You could read Caesar's book, the
Fugazi.
one he wrote, and it mirrors the life of Jesus. But a lot of people think that's bullshit.
well, he was like, it was a big struggle. He came up like in a big struggle. Caesar, really, honestly, a lot of the people, even with a lot of those, like even with Brutus and all them, the ones that like killed him at the end of the day, because you hear these
Bunch
people,
of bastards.
but they have the real presidents, I guess, would be like the tribune of the pleb, which would be all the people and
All I
stuff.
heard was pleb.
Yeah, and so
Fucking plebs.
so that's they would
Noobs.
whoever they push
Plebs are
forward,
the
you know,
new noobs.
and so that would be you'd see the gladiator, you know, the gladiator where everyone's like they knew he was the fucking leader.
I think that's what they should bring back.
I think so too.
Gladiators.
Or I don't know about the
Colosseum.
gladiators, but the pleb would be cool. You know, you would kind of fall in. Where I guess it sounds crazy to say, and a lot of people are probably crazy, but like Oprah right now, she's like trying to fall into.
Is she actually running for president?
She probably will, and then at the grand scheme of things,
Yeah, I don't know about that.
dude, with her, she's already like taking.
I think
that
she could
audience.
win it.
It's like PewDiePie.
Well, I know she'll
you
win
take
it,
PewDiePie,
but-
he's 59 million people. You can take his audience, like he could take that fucking audience.
Yeah, but a lot of them can't
Far.
vote, so she's
I don't
not
know.
doing it.
He's I feel like he's very underrated channel. He gets some slack, but
I don't
like,
give a shit about that PewDiePie. I've never seen one of his
Oh,
videos.
I'm a
His
fan
video-
of
his
PewDiePie.
videos
I
are
like
actually
PewDiePie.
pretty
I've
funny.
always kind of liked him. I mean, he ran into some slack, but like, it's funny even
When he
watching
dropped the
himself
N word,
make
I was just
fun
like,
of
I lost a
himself.
little bit of respect.
But dude, it's funny when you see him because like, he is a fucking crazy ass like nerd or whatever. But in like the whole scheme of things, it's funny because when you look at him versus Logan Paul and stuff, like even he makes
Who's Logan
fun of it.
Paul?
Logan Paul's a
They're like the
douchebag.
Disney characters that became YouTube famous.
They're the freaking, they're garbage.
They're
But,
trying to be like billionaires on YouTube, but then they ended up like filming dead bodies and
What?
yeah.
They're-
Get the suicide for it's so fucking dumb. Oh my god! I don't even
dude,
know
the
what
difference
to talk about
between Logan Paul and PewDiePie is black and white. Like PewDiePie's videos.
What do you mean by black and white? What kind of
Ah,
racist
yeah,
ass
it is.
shit
Whoa.
is that?
What do you mean, you people?
it kind of is.
I'm just a dude.
Playing a dude, pretending to be another dude.
I would, and even in PewDiePie's PewDiePie's defense, being from like Sweden and stuff like that, and up in like I guess where my family's from, Norway and all that kind of. I have uncles and
Oh,
stuff.
look at that. He's trying to connect
Whoa.
with PewDiePie.
He's like, we're basically brothers.
Dude, it sounds crazy, but
He's
like
my cousin.
like it's coming.
Subscribe.
It's coming to Utah.
Smash the like button.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know if it's the weather or whatever it is, but a lot of people like don't really migrate from here and stuff. That's like same with Norway and like Sweden. Not a lot of
Smog grabs
even
you.
Finland. Not a lot of people move there.
Smog.
Nobody moves. Like how many? I mean, people do, but it's not like as big of an influx of tourism. Like,
Do you know how many
everything's
Swedish
here.
fish they've got to make there?
A lot.
Smog's
They
great.
stay very, very tight knit. So that's why you see so many blonde hair, blue eyed Swedish people, all this kind of stuff. So in PewDiePie's defense, like it's like, unfortunately, even when he talks about imagine a lot of people, it's probably just so far disconnected, because he's in this world.
But when he drops the N-word,
But if you're going to be on a platform like that, you know your audience. It's
Yeah.
not like he's only speaking to the
With a
the
hard
beautiful
R.
Reich.
yeah, I know.
You know what I mean?
for me, like when you say a racial word like that, it never comes to my mind. Like when I'm frustrated in a game, the thing that comes to my mind is "fuck." God damn it!
I know,
You know?
my fringe words like cunt, and I'm like,
That one's even far out
Yeah,
there.
it's like, that's my
it's
friend's
on
word.
the
I'm like-
edge. And for me,
I like that word.
well,
I wish I was in
it's hard to
fucking
get past a
London so I
good
can
fuck
get away
for me
with
though.
it
That's
really
so good for me. Like a fuck, like a. That's why I'm glad I found that, so I won't have
Yeah.
to drop hard ends or drop any of those because I've got to.
well, for me, that word doesn't even. It's not even like in the dictionary of use. Like it's there, but
I see what you mean. Yeah,
it's
for
so
me, I would
far.
like.
If there was like a calculator or something that could tell me how many times I'd use a word, that word would be like once or twice.
I love the N word though, dude. In music, that shit's hard, dude.
But that's not real though. It's
But
like
not the hard R. Not the
yeah.
hard R, dude.
No,
I know-
you don't.
I
You
get
don't
what
go.
you're
You don't go.
saying, though. I get what
pointing.
Admir's saying now because I can see that because that does make sense.
And for
Where
me, like, and when he's
it's pulling it out of like I would pull it out of like, for me to say it would be. I would be forcing it. So
Yeah,
for him to
you'd
like
have
pull it out, that is kind of fucking.
it's weird that he
It
just
is weird, yeah.
pulls it out because he's playing PUBG and he just drops it.
Yeah, it's just like
And it's like how, and it's subconscious too. Yeah,
aggressive too.
and it was aggressive. It was aggressive, and I'm just thinking like
Maybe he was losing subscribers or something. I don't know.
he lost more subscribers when he said it. But what I'm saying is
Whatever.
like when you're in that moment and you're like trying to get that kill, or you're playing what's that game with the cars and the soccer ball?
Oh, Rocket League.
Rocket League, and you're in that moment where you're
but
like,
they
okay,
can't
I'm gonna
hear
get
you.
the game, I'm gonna get the ball, and all you're doing is you're concentrating on getting, making your car do a certain jump, twisting, doing something, and then you fail. The first word to come into your mind isn't the N word. It's like, oh shit, or oh shucks, or oh golly, or
yeah, it's
fuck.
true. You're like out of mind space at that point.
Yeah.
You've put all your energy into the fucking game and you've lost, and you only have one little bit of energy, and it's fuck. But
Yeah.
instead, his was like nagger.
The hard R. And I was like,
He went Randy Marsh, huh?
and then,
But it was more like aggressive though. It was like,
dude. And I was just like,
Kramer.
all of a sudden, my whole life, it felt like I went into like warp speed. I was like, did he
I
just
don't
say
even,
that?
And I don't even play PUBG or nothing like that, but I watch like these guys streaming it and stuff, and he was on the bridge part, and like I always see people get fucked over, and like they're on this huge
bridge part's fucking
and
frustrating.
I don't even play that game that much, and I know that's like a danger zone, and like people do it all the time, and they go there, and he's in there, and he ends up getting killed. Why would someone be there? All this kind of stuff. I'm like,
It's the bridge.
yeah, I was
Everybody's
like,
there.
everybody's there. Like this is weird.
I just, to me, there's certain words you use all the time, and you must use them all the time. So if they come slipping out, you're using that word constantly.
Yeah, again,
Like
yeah,
me,
that's right.
I'm usually using words like "you're great," America, again,
Rifle,
rifles,
pistols,
pistols,
Second Amendment.
knives, Second Amendment, America, great again.
bare arms.
It is weird. Like now, I have hearing you say it like that because even at the end, all the way down to that, I would yell some shit like that. Ah, poo.
I'd yell like fucking.
Like it would sound so stupid because there'd be
Yeah.
nothing,
Because your brain would automatically be like filtering to like try and find something, and you have
your
a very
Rolodex of words. It's
yeah,
like,
your index of words in the moment should be very small. Like, oh, son of a bitch. Something small. Or if you're a Mormon, it'd be, oh, gosh, dang it. Or something.
golly.
That hurt
golly.
like a butt cheek on a stick.
Freak, dang it. It's like,
oh,
dude,
what the F? Do a hard F.
it's
Well,
like,
should we close this one out with a hard R?
All
right, be ready for the next podcast.
Is it the R? They're ready
know.
for the next.
The Hard R podcast.
Yeah.
You have to end it with a hard E.
Rated R for
E.
what is rated
Retarded.
R? Okay, that's not a good word.
I don't know.
Rated R for
Mature.
mature.
For profanity.
Rated RM for mature.
There's sexual content as well. Take
I
that
don't
out
know
of
why we
context and you
record
wouldn't
this
even know what
podcast
that
butt
is.
naked,
exactly.
See if you took that out of context.
but Brian's like, it's because it's hot in this room, so we've got to be butt naked to stay perfect
I
temperature.
mean, it's not bad, right?
No, right now it's okay.
Yeah, he's like,
When you're
I'm
naked.
not trying to get my daughter sick. Fucking leave all your germs from outside. So we had to strip them before we even came in. It's like,
And then we walk through a vacuum room. Hold your arms straight out. He sprayed me down with some freaking super clear white stuff. I don't know what it
well,
was.
this baby girl's like floating around this fucking zero gravity room, fucking in her little bubble. And
I
I
was
was
like,
like,
dude,
that's what
Brian.
she's talking about, fucking vertigo. And it's like,
I was like, Brian, if I didn't know any better, I'd think you were an alien. Drop me dead.
whatever. He just
Then
pulls
I
out his little
recloned me.
cylinder and he's like, and you're like, and then instead he just flashes you in the
Little
face.
Men in Black
And then
flash.
he's like, Brian, your house is really fucking cool and you're the awesome. And you're like, Brian, you're really cool and this fucking house is awesome.
I feel like you
He's
said
like,
that
perfect.
backwards.
Either way, it works.
It had to come.
Flashes you. He's like, you want to say red, blue, green? You're like, teal, yellow, purple.
It went in as 1-2 and came out 2-1.
There you go.
You're like, I'm pretty sure this flash works, and you must
Yeah,
be
it's like,
stupid. But yeah, on that note, we're gonna get the hell out of here. Grab some pizza because we're the fucking Ninja Turtles, dude.
Yeah.
Always getting pizza.
dude. And if you want some
Get pitted.
fucking pizza as well, you can go ahead and buy them through our Amazon link. Help support the pod.
Yep.
Go on and get some shirts. Go on
now.
and check some stuff out. Comment, like, subscribe, and blow us a kiss, why don't you?
Don't forget to smash that like button.
Mash that like button.